Hey guys, Josh the RV Nerd here at HaylettRV of Coldwater, Michigan, and if you follow the series of videos that I release, you know that I'm a little bit behind. We've just been on absolute fire here, and we might be clocking in our best record month ever right now, which is absolutely awesome. But it's been all hands on deck, and unfortunately I haven't been able to get to everything like I please, so the video requests keep coming in, and I've been lax in getting to them, but doesn't really matter. More to the point. Let's get started and let's get back into things. This is something I've noticed as an often misunderstood thing. Very few people have any concept of electrical service in their RVs. And what does that mean? There's some that are 50, there's 30, there's plugs shaped like this, shaped like that. What do these plugs mean? What kind of spurred this conversation is we had someone say, well, that camper you just saw, there's a problem with it. There's obviously a problem with the air conditioner. Because I plugged it in at my house and it won't turn on. What do you mean you plugged it in at your house? Did you have a 30 amp circuit installed at your house? Because some people do that. No, I just got it plugged into the plug in the house. So they're using one of these simple, easy reducers. So the camper plugs into a 30 amp end here. And then you've got a 15 amp or 20 amp or whatever you want to call it home end on the other. These are usually 15. Well, look at the numbers, 30 amp to 15 amp. It's a reducer. You're literally cutting down half the power. You're giving your camper half the power it's designed for in the case of a 30 amp service. So it seems odd because you plug it into your house and like the lights, the fans, everything kick on, except the stupid air conditioner. Well, the high voltage appliances need more power than this thing can probably provide. That's kind of the hiccup from it. So if what you're looking to do is pull it up to the house, open the slide, turn the fans on to get the air cycled out, this is fine. This is a temporary limp through fix. This is not designed to run a trailer. You might, depending on the model of air conditioner on the roof or whatever, you might get the air conditioner to turn on with this, but you better not turn on anything else in the camper. And even then, you don't want to run this. You don't want to run like your RV full time with just this little 15 amp reducer plug. Because you're literally, like, to give you guys an idea, like, obviously people know that too much electricity is damaging for appliances, power surges. Did you know that not enough electricity is also bad? Any electrical components designed to work within an electrical range, you go above or below that, and you're going to have problems. Less power is just as bad as too much. It's just that too much power is easy to see, so we know about that. All right, so here's another thing. Kind of the same concept. You have a 50 amp camper, but they have a 30 amp campsite. You will still get pretty much full use of your coach, except for things like double air conditioners. You're going to have to pretty much pick one air conditioner. Other than that, this will pretty much get you through this little, $9, $10 job right here. So if you've got and actually any customer from HaylettRV that buys a new RV from us, and we don't charge extra for this, when we sell a new RV, you get, with a 30 amp service, you get a 30 to 15 reducer for prep time. But in a 50 amp camper, we give you both a 15 to 30 reducer as well as a 30 to 15. And if you need to, you can daisy chain these things together, again, just to get your big fifth wheel or giant trailer ready for the weekend. But again, at your campsite, you always want to use the biggest power source that you can possibly draw from. So again, if you got a 50 amp coach, this to that, 50 down to 30, so 4-prong to 3-prong, will give you most full service, but not 2 air conditioners. If you go from 30, which is big 2-prong, to little 2-prong, then you're going to have drastically reduced service because you're cutting your power load in half. Now, this little guy over here is different. Depending on the campsite you get to and things like that, you might have a 30 amp service on you might have a 30 amp rated trailer, but you might be looking at a 50 amp 4-prong plug. You are not getting more power off the post with this because it's just a reducer. This is a converter plug, where these are reducers. This is just a converter plug. So basically one of these lines is just dead. It doesn't do anything. So you got like a 30 amp service and then a dead plug over here. And I don't know which one gets cut off. It doesn't matter which one gets cut off. The point is one of them doesn't actually translate through to the back here. This is something I don't think a lot of park owners understand, because I've heard people, when the parks are really, really, really busy, and some of these big units have 2 or 3 air conditioners and giant electrical refrigerators, and they're just power hogs. There's more power hogs than they ever used to be. Well, They'll tell people, you need to go to the camp store, go down to Haylett's, and you get this little converter widget, and your 30 amp camper, suddenly everything will work magically. No, it won't. This won't give you more power. It cuts down to this rating. It just can't. It just physically can't. That's not how it works. That's not how electricity flows. So then there's some folks who have a 50 amp camper, but they go to places that only have a 30 amp service, but you want to use all your fancy 50 amp stuff. So going from 50 amp to 30 amp isn't really what you want to do. Depending on how that park is wired, I might have a solution for you. This weird octopus looking thing here, this alien looking thing. So you plug your 50 amp camper into this plug. Then what you do at the park is you have a 30 and a 15 amp, and it mashes them together basically and gives you a 45 amp input. That's probably enough to use most everything. Now where you may want to be careful is if you're running two air conditioners, you want to be really careful of like using the microwave. You know, for just general daily running, this will pretty much get a 50 amp camper fully working on a 15 plus a 30 for a 45 amp service. If you want to turn on the microwave and the water heater on electric and you have an electric only refrigerator, this might not cut it still because you need every ounce of that power. Like if you actually go through a lot of campers, if you do any like actual power testing, when they even run down the production line, if you turn on all the lights and all the stuff that it can run, like if something's rated for 50 amps, a lot of times they're still pulling like 58, 59. So that's why being smart and conservative where you can, even if you have normal 50 amp hookup, is always still a good idea because boy, do they just squeeze every ounce of juice they can. They get every ounce of squeeze out of that lemon. Oh wow, this ran longer than I thought. So long story short, if you're using the little guy, you may not get full service. If you're going from big to small, you're going to have less service. If you're going from small to big, you're going to have the same non-improved service. And if you need a mutant solution, I got that too. So with that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Man, my head's shiny today, isn't it?